everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me, Mish, the Dorky Reader, and today's video is my April TBR wrap-up where I go over all the books I did or did not read in the month of April. And pardon my wet hair, I did just take a shower, so I probably look extra scrappy. I mean, well, not like scrappy, I look clean, but like my hair always looks really like scraggly after a shower. I've got old person hair where it gets real thin. I'm always envious when I see the young booktubers out there and they've got this big, beautiful, full hair, and I'm like, man, that was before I had kids, man. Before I had kids. But okay, anyway, despite that, I have some books for me to go over with you today. I didn't do the best in the month of April, but I did end up reading, well, I tried to read about 4 books. One I ended up DNFing halfway through. One of the 3 books, though, is like long enough to count as 2 books. It was like almost 800 pages, so I count that as like 2 books worth in 1 book. And then I read 2 other books outside of that, so that's good. It was all right. Not my best month, not my worst month either, so I'm all right. Okay, so I'm going to start with the list. I did not end up reading The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers, even though this cover is probably one of the prettiest covers I have in my collection. I think it's just stunning. It looks lovely. Anyway, so I didn't read that one, and I also didn't read Breath of the Dragon, which I feel really guilty about because my kids did choose this for me to read in the hospital when I was sick about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and I never got around to reading it because I was just feeling so horrible. I never read it, but they brought it to me so I could read it, and I didn't read it then, and now I didn't read it, so I've got this guilt, like, you should have read that one, Mish. That's the one you should have read. But oh well, I didn't, so here it is. I did end up reading Curse of the Wolf King, finally. This is one of the oldest books I've had on my shelves. When I started getting back into reading after not reading for years and years and years, maybe just once in a while sporadically, I picked up a couple books that I thought sounded like they might be, you know, good for me. And I was really into romantasy at the time, so I grabbed a couple. And this was literally one of the first ones because I wanted to read the sequel. It was called like The Raven Prince or something like that. And I love ravens and crows, so I thought, okay, I gotta read the series. I'll start with book 1. And you know what? I'm surprised because oftentimes for me, I find a lot of modern romantasies a little bit cringy. And this one was not too bad. It wasn't as cringy as it could have been. And actually, the spice level is pretty mild too. I was expecting a little more in that area. Not a disappointment, not a like, woohoo either. Just, I was expecting more and it wasn't there. So it was kind of a nice little Beauty and the Beast retelling. Excuse me. The Fae Prince in this is like kind of like a shifter, but he prefers his wolf form, which is a little weird for me. So I wasn't super like attracted to the male lead. They also, if it bothers you, they do say male and female in this, but usually when they're like describing literal wolves, so it feels a little more accurate. So I didn't feel as like animal documentary style, like, I don't know. It was just, it rode that wave in a way that wasn't upsetting. And so I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Was it my favorite book ever? No. I mean, I think I gave it a 3 or a 3.5 star. Like, it was okay. But it was better than I was expecting, so that's good. So I'm gonna keep it. Okay, the next book on my thing here is Legendborn. I also did not read Legendborn. I think because it was so chunky and I was reading another chunky book. The other chunky book I was reading was The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman. And I will say, this is my favorite so far, I think, of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. The character Samantha has quickly stolen my heart as probably my favorite character. I absolutely love Samantha. She is so weird and so funny and so just deliciously written. Like, she is perfect. I just love her. There was a lot of great moments, funny, humorous, exciting, a lot of like angst. It was good. It was good. Carl, I feel like as he evolves as a character, he's starting to cross into this territory of like doing things that seem really like a little bit cruel, a little bit whatever, and I think that's in a way, he's even leveling up the playing field or something. I don't know how to describe it. All I know is that there are some morally gray choices that Mr. Carl has been making as the series progresses, and I'm curious to see how this plays out in his story. I'm very much looking forward to the next book whenever that comes around, but as you can see, this book is a beast. It was, gosh, how many pages? I don't know, about like 700 or so, so I feel like it counts as a double book whammy. All right, and then I read The Apothecary Diaries, Volume 4. In this edition, Mao Mao ends up being taken hostage at some point, and she is taken to a fortress run by some pretty nasty people, and Jinchi ends up coming to her rescue. And it's a very, like, the story, of course, it starts off, there's lots of, like, mysteries to solve, as per usual for our little apothecarian, and she's just so fun. I really like her personality. She's not typical in any sense of the word, and I like that about her. And I like that the main male lead in this story also finds her charming in her own unique way, and that, you know, he doesn't want the flattery and the whatever that other people give him, or maybe he says he does, but it's just he seems to be very interested in Mao Mao despite her quirkiness, and I just love that about these two. They're a really fun pair. But anyway, again, it is a translated work. Sometimes the writing feels a little choppy, like kind of something is not quite as natural sounding as it might be if it were written solely for English audiences by an English author. However, I still really, really love this book series. Very great series. I did not end up reading Golden Sun. Shame on me. I know I really need to get into this because I've heard so many great things about it. I don't know. I didn't gravitate towards it this month. I also did not read Stephen King's The Long Walk. Again, and this one I feel like could have been good. It did come late in the month, like when I got my order, because I told you, like, in the last video that, not the last video, but in my April TBR video that I had ordered it and it was on its way. So it didn't come as soon as I expected, and then I just didn't end up choosing it. Okay, last I have the book I DNF'd, and that was Whisper by Lynette Loney, or Noni, not Loney, and I was really disappointed in it, actually. I really love The Prison Healer. I did end up reading The Prison Healer, and it was a fantastic book. And it had a really great twist, and it was surprising, and it was interesting, and it was YA, but it didn't feel like something that was beneath my reading level. It felt good, you know, it felt good to read it. This one, however, I felt like it didn't quite fit for me. This girl in the book, she has an ability, something where if she talks or something, it comes true. And this is kind of a dangerous power, so she's sworn herself to never speak again, and she had herself institutionalized. While she was institutionalized, they pulled her to a secret government facility underground where she's been kind of held captive for years and years. And she has, like, the same gruel every day to eat. There's no bright, beautiful colors around to see. There's, you know, no music or singing or anything to give you life. Just solitude, hard work, and kind of like, almost like torture too. There's torture involved. Imagine after 2 or so years of torture, when you see a new man in a tight shirt, you're not going to immediately blush and go, oh, he's so hot in your head. Like, you're not going to be lusting after someone in this state. You are literally in crisis mode. Or at least you should be. But it wasn't written that way, and I don't think I could get past that, because for me it felt very like, why is she even having these thoughts right now? She has literally not spoken to another human being or touched another human being in years, like, nicely. I don't know. It just felt weird to me. Also, there were some children in the book that later are introduced, and they were very, like, too perfect, you know? Like, no one who has real children would write children this way. Children don't go up to strange girls who don't talk and whatever and are like, come with me and play with me. Like, they're not. I know that that's the fairy tale imagining, but most kids are kind of like, I don't know, they're just not like that. So I felt, to me, like, she didn't know kids, like, she didn't write the kids very realistically, and then she wrote this kind of very immature girl mentality inside this poor character. I don't know, it just didn't fit. So for me, it was a letdown, and I ended up DNFing probably about like 40 to 50% through. So that was a no-go. And that is how I'm gonna end my TBR, on a negative note. Oh no, why did I do that? I always feel like it's bad if you leave on a sour note. But anyway, I've already read about 1.5 books for my May TBR, and I'm looking forward to this month's book list. It's full of some really good ones. I'm not even sure which ones will end up on the list, because I guess that's part of the fun, is you mood read your way through and you get to pick. But I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. And anyway, I hope you like the setup. I am planning on maybe doing my next TBR jar video out here in the living room, because I think this is kind of cool. I like being able to see the carts behind me. I think that's really fun. I have to work on the lighting a little more maybe. I think it's all right. I'll check it out when I edit this video and see if it's good enough. And I guess that's it. Until the next time, bye.